Hello everyone, Myria Com again, working on this project where I am trying to get used to the sound of my voice. Had a pretty decent day today, got a lot done. I never feel like I've gotten enough done, of course, but got a lot done. Got laundry put away, did some dishes, did some meal prep, vacuumed, did my physical therapy, most of it. I have a couple more exercises to do yet. What else did I do, kitty? I don't know. I got some stuff done. Oh, I shampooed my kitty with some waterless shampoo. I don't know. I always feel like I do a lot on Sundays and spend the whole time dreading going to work on Monday, which is a whole thing. I want to talk about that a little bit, actually. I am pretty good at my job. I'm sure other people would say I'm great at my job. I am a little bit too much of a perfectionist to say that, because I never feel like I really know what I'm doing, but I think that's partially because of, like, the scope creep thing, where my job is one of those jobs that has, it's really multiple jobs in one. I'll just say what I do. I'm an administrative assistant. So I've mentioned before that I work at a university. I'm not in the academic side. I work in extension, which is like extension is more like community education and community outreach and that sort of thing, and less about like teaching students on campus. A bunch of people I support are remote and work across the state I live in. And they do trainings in different places across the state. So a lot of times I will be like helping organize events in a county on the complete opposite side of the state from where I live. Or I'll be arranging catering in a totally different town that I've never even been to, and that sort of thing, which is very stressful and frustrating a lot of the time. The biggest issue most of the time is paying for it, because a lot of small towns, like, the easiest way for me to pay things is if I can pay for it online with my company credit card, and that's not really possible in a lot of rural areas, which is where a lot of these trainings happen, so it's a whole thing. But anyway, so, like, my job is multiple jobs in one. First of all, I'm 50% with two different departments, so 50% with one and 50% with another. I guarantee you I'm not doing my job that way. Like, 50% of my time is not spent doing things for one department, and then 50% of my time on the other department. One of my departments definitely monopolizes most of my time, which is generally fine. Yeah, so I'm an administrative assistant. This was never a job I thought I was ever gonna have, or whatever. I'm definitely overqualified for my job because I have a bachelor's degree and a master's degree, and neither of those are required to be an administrative assistant. So that's fun. So part of why I don't like my job, like, there are a lot of things about it that I do not like. And a big part of it is the fact that it is multiple jobs. Not only is it like I'm working for two different departments, but it's the number of people I'm supporting. I'm not just supporting like one main person and then other people ask me to do stuff. I'm literally supporting like 5 or 6 people, which is tough and frustrating. Aside from that, it's like my job isn't just being an administrative assistant. I'm also kind of, involved with social media management for the two departments I work for. Fortunately, I don't have to do a lot with that because I am not a marketing person, and that is not I would not be good at that. I would be okay at that probably if I could focus on just that, but that's not how my job works. I'm also the website manager for both of the departments that I work for. I'm also, what else do I do? Oh, I'm the unit records and forms coordinator for both of the departments I work for. And I will admit that I have not done a lot with that because no one has told me to. And every time I try, I always, like, run into problems or, I just have not had the time. Like, that's the problem. I just don't have enough time. I also, am the kind of the office manager for the office suite I work in, and that suite is filled with a bunch of people I do not technically support. I end up supporting them anyway because, like, I'm the office manager. So even though on paper I do not support them, there are things like if they request something for our suite to have, like, just as an example, one of them was like, "Oh, could we get like a step ladder for our suite so we don't have to keep borrowing it from somewhere else?" Then I will order a step ladder for our suite. Like, it's not a big thing, but, I also deliver mail to everyone in the suite and stuff like that. So, part of what I don't like about my job is that it is so many different jobs in one. And I know that that's a thing with a lot of jobs, but the fact that that happens, but then I don't get compensated for doing like 5 jobs, I'm just getting compensated for doing 1 job. Again, I know this is a thing that happens with a lot of jobs, so I'm not like saying, oh, poor me, I'm worse off than other people. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying this is something I don't really love about my job. Another thing I don't like about it is I know I'm overqualified for it. So, it's really hard to keep doing a job day in and day out that I know I'm overqualified for. Especially when I have applied for jobs that I am better qualified for, but I don't get interviews for them. And I assume this because there are other more qualified people, which is fine and is the reality of the world, so I get that. But just kind of sucks. And then another thing that I don't love about my job is the fact that the departments I am working, I guess one of the departments I work for, I wouldn't say passionate about, but I understand and I can get behind, and I have been a part of that world a little bit, but the other department that I support is like so outside of anything I have ever been involved in. It is soil conservation, and that's important. Don't get me wrong. That's a very important topic, especially in the area I live in, which, lots of rural areas where people are doing farming and ranching and stuff like that, and soil conservation is definitely important. Soil conservation is important everywhere, but, whatever. Anyway, but soil conservation, while I can acknowledge that it is very important and something that people do need to pay attention to, it is not something that I am passionate about. And trying to work in that world and support people who are passionate about it is kind of tough sometimes. Like, I want to support them, I want to be involved, I want to help them come up with ideas for projects and for trainings and stuff like that. It's just hard when I don't understand that world very well because it's outside of my area of expertise. And it is also, like, kind of tying into what I was talking about with Kind of Funny the other day. It is hard to, like, be around people who come to work and are passionate about what they do and do like what they're doing. And that doesn't just go for that department, but it goes for most of the people in this office suite I'm in. Like, they are passionate about the things that they are doing, and they are passionate about the work that they are doing and the assistance they are offering to the community. It's really hard to be passionate about being an administrative assistant when you know you could be doing so much more, and you could be contributing so much more to, the community, to people who want to learn things, whatever. I just lack the experience, or I lack the proper degree or whatever to get into those positions, and that just sucks because I know I could be doing those kinds of positions. I just don't have the right qualifications. And I know this is, again, a problem with the job market generally, and a problem with our society generally, where whether or not I have done something like this before, or like a job before, whether or not I have the perfect degree or whatever, I am capable of doing pretty much anything. Like, before this job, I've never been an administrative assistant before. So, I mean, and I'm pretty good at it, even though I don't like it. Don't love it. Like, so whatever. I think it's incredibly stressful, way more stressful than it needs to be. And maybe part of that is just on me because I'm a perfectionist, and so much of my job is reliant on waiting for other people to do things and reliant on other people doing what needs to be done. And that doesn't happen a lot. And that's frustrating. And that's really hard for someone who's a perfectionist because it shouldn't reflect poorly on me if someone else isn't pulling their weight and isn't doing their job, and then I can't do mine, but I feel like it does, and I feel like I should be doing more in those cases, and a lot of times there's nothing I can do. But anyway, it's just frustrating and annoying. And I could rant forever about not liking my job, but also not knowing how to fix that because I have tried applying for jobs I think I would like and I think I would be good at. Things I have done before, like teaching at the college level. I don't have a teaching certificate, so I can't teach below that, but I have taught college before, like as a grad student, so that caveat is in there, but also, like, my students generally liked what I was doing and did well, so, you know, I think I'm pretty good at it. I do wonder if taking a leave of absence and then not coming back was maybe a detriment to me in that realm, but I don't know. I mean, I think not being in academia for a decade is probably a detriment to getting academia-related jobs, but whatever. Anyway, I just don't know how to get out of this, and I had hoped that taking this job would be like a stepping stone to something better. And it's been a little over a year now, and I know that in the grand scheme of things it's not a lot of time, but I was really hoping to not still be in this position after a year. And here I am, and it's frustrating, and I don't know. I just never know if it was the right choice, and this is my problem with a lot of choices I have made in my life. It often feels like I just screwed myself and made the wrong choice, or didn't make a choice that's actually going to advance my life, and, you know, whatever. So, it's just an ongoing problem. I know a lot of people probably feel the same way, or feel similarly, or are going through something worse. Like, at least I have a job. That's something I have to keep telling myself. At least I've got one. So, there's that. Even if it's stressful and frustrating and not what I want to be doing, and is kind of soul-crushing every day. Being an administrative assistant is one of those, like, thankless jobs where even though you're doing a lot behind the scenes, and, like, my boss can constantly tell me, you're the glue that holds us together, and we wouldn't accomplish nearly as much without you, but when there are opportunities for public recognition, I am not getting that. And it's true for a lot of administrative assistants. Sometimes they get it. I know a couple who get it, and that's great, but I am not getting that. And there was one case in particular where there was this, like, moment for people to give shout outs and stuff like that, and it was just after a meeting I had helped organize and take minutes at and stuff like that. And it was in another county from the one I am stationed in or whatever. And we had ended up sending stuff to get printed, so we sent stuff there to get printed, and we asked, like, the administrative assistant at that county office for help. And during this moment for public recognition, for people to give shout-outs and stuff, my boss gave a shout-out to the county administrative assistant for helping us print stuff and helping us, like, get the room situated and stuff. But I didn't get a shout-out for organizing the meeting and taking minutes at the meeting and even setting the meeting up. And it's just, like, stuff like that. And even other administrative assistants, after the meeting where the shout-outs were given, they came, like, they said to me, it was really weird that she didn't give you any recognition. I'm just like, yeah, I know. And that's like part of the frustrating part to me is you can tell me personally all the time that I'm great, but the moment there's an option for public recognition and you don't give it to me, then I'm wondering if you even really think that or if you're just buttering me up when you're saying that to me in person. So that's probably really unfair. It's just because that's what I'm kind of used to in life. So yeah. But anyway, I have kind of rambled a lot and ranted a little bit about work. And I don't know that that is necessarily helpful, but you know, people gotta rant sometimes. And it is Sunday evening, and I do not want to go to work tomorrow. I don't want to go and do a bunch of stuff that no one gives a shit about, except for the fact that if I didn't do it, they would have to do it, and they don't want to do it. It's like depressing, but that's kind of just the reality of the situation. And telling me that I'm good at doing menial tasks is not helpful to me personally, because they're menial tasks and I don't want to be doing them, but whatever. Again, I don't know how to get out of this situation. I have tried applying for jobs. Like, even when I was at my last job for almost 10 years, basically 9 years, but almost 10, because that's close to 10 in the grand scheme of things. Even when I was there, I, was applying for jobs. Not really religiously or anything, but a lot. And I wasn't getting interviews. So, that's just how the job market is, but that also really sucks. And I was really, really hoping that I would be able to find something at the university that's more related to academia and closer to where I want to be or should be based on my degrees. But here I am. I just don't even think I have advancement opportunity in extension, which is part of the problem, because I don't have the right degrees or the right experience. So I feel like I'm going to be stuck doing this forever, and I don't really want to do that. At this point, I'm kind of just like, if I can last 3 years, then my pension, it's basically a pension, it's not exactly a pension, but it's basically a pension. The money in my pension will vest after 3 years, and then if I need to leave, get another job somewhere else, I can roll it over into a 401k or something. But I have to be there 3 years before it will vest, so now that I've been there for a year, I feel like I have a little bit of sunk cost going in there. And I feel like I can't leave until that vests, because it's a good chunk of change. And as a single person, I have to think about the future, and I have to think about retirement, even though that's probably never going to happen, because I am also a millennial. Social Security won't exist then anymore, probably, the way things are going. So, anyway, I am continuing to ramble and rant, and I need to stop. So I'm gonna stop. If this was in any way helpful to you, or anything like that, then that's great. I will say that most of the, videos and or photos that I've been including with these little recordings have been either from things I've taken pictures of or videos of at the university on my break or something like that, or things around my own house, because I scattered some crimson clover seed in the spring, and I've been very pleased with how much of it has sprouted and how much of it has flowered, and I hope that I can keep doing that for however long I live here, because crimson clover is really cool, and it's a native plant, so that's awesome. See, I care about soil conservation a little bit, because I care about native flora and fauna. Anyway, sorry, that has nothing to do with anything, but I wanted to just explain that the photos and videos are of, stuff around me. Not taken from the internet or anything. It's my stuff. Or stuff at the university. I'm not a very good photographer, and I'm terrible at taking videos, but there you have it. Anyway, yeah, this has been long enough. Once again, editing is gonna suck, but that's okay. I hope you enjoyed this if you listened, and I appreciate you listening. This has been Myria Com, and I will chat at you tomorrow. See ya!